Good morning. On this week's episode of The Professor Helps, I'm going to talk to you about making the best of a bad situation, or birthday in quarantine. So, I don't know how many of you know this, but I consider your birthday your new year. It's a lot easier to sell that concept when your birthday is in January or say December. But it never fails that when someone has a birthday, I always wish them a happy new year as well, because I believe that it starts the clock over again. Like, it's your new year because it's your birthday. It's the celebration of you coming into the world and coming into being. This year when my birthday came around, I was a little hesitant to celebrate because in quarantine, obviously things are different. You can't have a big karaoke bash like I would normally do. You can't have a bunch of people around. You can't do a lot of things that I would really prefer to do. And so I had really made up my mind. I said, okay, I know that it's not going to be the same. So I'm going to figure out how to make it the best that I can make it. Well, one of the things that I did is I set up a Zoom call with myself and several people that would not have been possible in real life, because one of the people was in Australia, one of the people was in New York, one of the people was in California, another person's in Phoenix, there's people in Denver, another person in Washington. So it was really cool that it necessitated that kind of solution, because that meant that a lot of people who I would normally not be able to talk to or see on my birthday, I got to see. Now, granted, it was on a screen and not in person, but making the best of a bad situation, or looking at the glass as half full, is something that I specialize in. And the truth is I really don't know where this came from, because nothing in my childhood would suggest that that would be the way to look at things. But through wise counsel of several people that I have met, books that I have read, positions that I have developed, another thing is that I have developed is you can do hard things. And I say it to my daughter all the time. And I'm not 100% sure who said it first. I feel like it's a Michelle Obama or another woman who is amazing that said this first. And so I say it to my daughter. I need to go find out who said it originally, because attribution matters. And I like the idea whenever she asks for help, because she is 4.5 and she wants help. Sometimes she needs help and sometimes she just wants help. And it's really important for me as her parent to distinguish the times when she really needs help. And so what I will often say to her is, you can do hard things. And then the victories in the try, which is something that Mike Carr said, who is the world champion of public speaking this year and a friend of ours. And I think that it's an important lesson to remember that the victory is in the try. It is very possible that this year, when I planned this Zoom call and several little individual socially distanced masked situations, a family birthday with my daughter and my husband, that it was not going to feel as good. But in truth, it actually felt pretty great. And so while I did miss the connection, the high fives, the hugs, I really miss hugs, that I would have gotten at a karaoke bar, say, I still had the love and the affection, and I felt that coming through the screen. And I wanted to talk about that today, because I think that it's really easy to get bogged down in how difficult it is still, because even though 2021 has rolled around, we still have goals that we're trying to make, promises to yourself, as I talked about last week. One of the promises I've given to myself is to not snooze. I'm doing pretty well on that. Today is day 20 of the new year. I actually started it before the new year, and I think I'm batting pretty well this week. I think that there's been a lounging period where I'm still awake. My eyes are open. There is no sleeping. But I'm definitely taking my time waking up, which is also part of giving up the hurry. Another goal I had was to work on my French. I'm on day 85 of consistent French. So to me, I could say that's safely a habit. So I would say that there's a lot of things to look at and say, it's really horrible. It's really, really hard. And the truth is that for me, focusing on the glass being half full does not mean that you don't see the other side of it, that you don't see that there are situations and things that make the glass half empty. I think that a big part of doing hard things is understanding what it is that you're taking on when you decide that you're going to be somebody who helps other people. And a big part of that is knowing where people are. And I have something that I really like to say to people, which is, whether it's sunshine or rain, always give me the report. Because the truth is that we're all going through things in life. And you might not know that your friend just had a miscarriage, or you might not know that your friend just had something really great happen, but because something happened in your life that wasn't so great, they're not telling you their news, and vice versa. So I encourage you to be real with your friends and to share your information with your friends, because it can only deepen your current bond. And as far as doing hard things, something that I'm doing right now is I'm new in a position, and it's hard because I'm new and I don't know everything. And there was never a time that I ever knew everything, because there's just so much to have to know, that when you're new, it's really important to embrace things like pretend you're a tourist, because tourists are not afraid to ask for directions. Tourists are not afraid to look kind of silly. And I think that that's an important message too, with regards to you can do hard things. You can do hard things. And making the best of a bad situation is something that we've all gotten very, very used to. And I think it's a worthwhile skill. I think it's something to point to as, hey, this was not so great. So as you head into today, I want you to think about a time this year or in the past year that you have made the best of a bad situation. And go ahead and drop me a comment. I do the message for the Professor Helps once a week, and I would love it if you find this helpful to go ahead and subscribe, and of course share with your friends, and then drop me a comment and tell me about a time that you did something hard, or that you looked on the bright side of something when everyone else could only see the glass as half empty. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Professor Helps, and I'm the Professor, signing off.